Taking a deep breath in. Good, exhale. Gently draw the navel to the spine, engage the lower abdomen, release the hands. We're going to take the hands into Amitabha Mudra, interlacing the fingers, thumbs lightly touching. Just kind of rest the hands in your lap, and we're just going to establish some movement and breath. So inhale, the hands, palms face up to the heart, spin at the heart. Good, extending to the sky. So keep the thumbs touching, so reach through the heel of the hand, extend those elbows. Inhale, lower the hands to heart level, spin the palms face up, and lower the hands back into your lap. Beautiful. Inhale, all the way up towards the sky or out in front of you if the shoulders preclude the arms extending overhead. Good. Exhale, hands spinning at the heart. Release the hands into your lap. So let's do this a few more times. Mula Bandha, you can engage the pelvic floor muscles, lifting, and then draw the lower belly towards the spine, as if you were scooping out the inner sacrum as you exhale the hands back into your lap. Feel free to lift the gaze if that feels okay with the neck, and then exhale, draw the chin to the throat as you release the hands into your lap. So we'll do this 2 more times. Just moving into the throat chakra as you lift the gaze. Exhale and lower the gaze towards the navel. Lifting the head at the end of your next exhalation. Good. Gently release the right ear to right shoulder. Good. Bring the head back up. And weight the left temple towards the left shoulder, as if the brain were just kind of weighted towards that left temple. Breathe in, 1 more time each side. Exhale, see if you can broaden the opposite collarbone. Good, breathing in. Exhale. Circle the chin to the throat. Right ear to right shoulder, chin to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale into the stretch. Breathe in. Then bring the chin back towards the chest. Good. Inhale, lift the head up. Releasing the arms to your sides. Circle out the shoulders. So you might do one at a time, right? You can do both together. So first in one direction. I tend to roll forward and back. Good. As if you're doing sort of, I don't know, backstroke. Good. And then butterfly. So roll the shoulders forward. Just kind of get some movement in the shoulder girdle, right? Very nice. Good. And just kind of shake it out again. We'll extend the legs out to the sides, and then we'll switch so that the other leg is in front. Just kind of roll the legs out a little bit so you get some movement in the hips. Circle out the ankles. If you're in hero's pose, feel free to come forward on 2 hands and knees, and then sort of set up your posture again. Good, so we'll switch the foot or the leg that's in front, depending on whichever cross-legged position you took, or hero's pose, really nice. We're gonna extend the arms out to the sides. Good, and just, again, I'm just finding the ground with my seat, and then reach over to the far right. So you're gonna start to feel the iliopsoas here. You might have sensation around the lower back. Good, so deep, right, the psoas deep along the posterior abdomen, the back, the inner lining, if you will, right, of the abdominal cavity, right along the spine, right. It runs from the inner lumbar all the way to the inner thigh. So we tend to feel this a little bit in the back. Good. Try to soften the shoulders, reaching through the fingertips. Try to kind of keep the opposite sitting bone weighted to the earth. Beautiful. One more time. Just kind of feeling into that side body, coming back to center if you need to. Lower the arms. Good. And then we're going to bring them back up again, shoulder height. See if you can hollow the armpit here. Right, so you want to sort of plug those arms right into the shoulder girdle. Don't squeeze the shoulder blades together. See if you can just soften, broaden the back, breathe into the back in just little circles. Good, just strengthening the shoulder girdle, right, the integrity of the shoulder girdle, the muscles supporting, good, supporting that integration. Beautiful. Good, while preserving mobility. Shoulders are all about mobility. But we want to just again attend to that tendency for hypermobility of the shoulder joint. Too much freedom of movement. Take a deep breath in, which requires a little restraint. Good. When things are too contracted, too tight, then we need to soften. Good. And then pause and release and lower down. Woo. Good. Shake out the shoulders. One more time. I'm going to take the arms out to the sides. And this time, a little flexion through the wrist, so counter flexion and extension through the wrists. So opposite, one hand fingers up, one hand fingers down, and then other side. Good, and just kind of extend through the heel. Good, and then the back of the wrist. Just get a little bit of a stretch in the forearm. Nice. One more time, breathe in. Good, exhale, breathe out. Extend through the fingers. Nice, and gently release. Good, little twist over to the right. Good, let the arms just kind of dangle so there's no tension in the shoulders here. Again, you're not pulling yourself into a twist, just kind of feeling into that rotation around the spine, rolling from the belly. Breathing in, breathing out, and then come back to center. And let's roll to the other side. Good. Again, leaning back a little bit, rising up through the crown. And exhale, lower belly drawing back. We're twisting using the abdominal muscles. Good, and just finding that rotation around the axis of the spine. Come back to center. Really nice. Good. And then from here, so keep the left leg folded in, and we'll extend the right leg, and you can extend through the heel so you can feel the quadricep muscles pulling up and engaging the thigh. So integrating the thigh. Take a deep breath in. We're just going to take a little twist over towards that right leg. Good. So you might lift that right sitting bone and just slide it back, integrating as if you're drawing the right thigh into the hip socket. Good. So now this feels like we're shifting into Janu Shirshasana. Janu, knee, head of the knee, Shirsha. Take a deep breath in, just feeling that rotation. Beautiful. And then coming back to center. Inhale. We're going to take that twist to the other side. So now drawing that left thigh into the hip socket. Good. Rolling from the belly. And maybe you extend that right hand to right foot. Just again, we're going to feel into this iliopsoas here. Left thigh releasing towards the earth, lower belly drawing back towards the spine. Inhale, gaze over that left shoulder. Good, exhale. So we're going to keep that uprightness to begin with. And then gently come back, and we'll switch sides. So you can bring that right leg in, and we'll stretch that left leg out. And again, a little eversion in the foot where the sole side of the ball of the foot is rolling to the sky to encourage external rotation. No pulling on the knee. Flex your left foot this time. Take a deep breath in. Lift your left sitting bone. Drag that left thigh back into the hip socket. Take a little rotation over towards the left leg. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And come back to center. Good. This time the right leg draws into the right hip. Keep that integrity here. Extend through that left heel as you roll now over to the right side. Breathe in. Good. Exhale, and we're going to reach that left hand to left foot, left toes, ankles, shin bone, whatever feels accessible to you. And see if you can just feel into, again, a little bit of a stretch here. through the hip, the iliopsoas, lower back. Good, releasing. So the stretch in it is an external rotation through the hip. Notice your left shoulder and drop that left shoulder. Exhale, very nice. Come back up to an upright position. Beautiful. Bring that left foot back in. We're going to take bound ankle pose where the feet come together now to the extent that you can, right? You might have a little bit more lift in the knees depending on the opening of the hips. Feel free to put blocks underneath the knees so you can feel some release in the hip flexors. Good, and we'll just circle out the pelvis a little bit here. So bringing some movement, some energy flow into the pelvis. Really nice. Just feeling that out, establishing your breath, pause, and reverse the direction of the roll. Maybe coming a little further forward, dropping a little further back. Again, just feeling into your body. Right? The practice of yoga is all about the art of noticing that which shows up in the moment without the intention of needing it to resolve. I'm going to say that again. Right? Noticing that which shows up in our awareness, the sensation, just kind of staying with it, allowing it to shift and mold and do what it needs to do. The minute we impose our own idea of what that feels like or looks like, right, we've already shut ourselves down to the experience. Take a deep breath in. Let's rise up nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to bring the knees together, come forward onto hands and knees. And I'm just going to have you start in child's pose this morning. Walking the arms out in front of you just to get a little stretch in the shoulders. Always put a little bit of padding under the knees. Good. Walk the hands towards the front corners of your mat. Rest the forehead on a block. Good. Or the earth. And just take a few breaths. Let the arms release towards the earth. Head to the ground. Hips to heels. And breathe. Lift the head, extend the gaze towards the front of the mat or the fingertips. Walk the hands to your right or to one side. We're going to stretch out the back a little bit. You're going to lift, billow the back a little bit, lift and roll the ribs towards the thigh, towards which you're moving the hands. Good, and see if you can literally shift the rib cage. And then the hips shift back towards the opposite heel. And in this way, you're going to get a little bit of a stretch through the outside, back, body, side body. So we're going to really focus on the back today. Nice. Good. The back, which protects us from all the stuff that we can't really see coming. Breathing in. So we want the back to be just aware, strong. Walk the hands back through center, over to the other side. And again, lift and roll the ribs towards the thigh, towards which you're turning. Shift the hips to the other side, opposite heel. Breathe in, breathe out. So just feeling into your body, notice that which comes up and send it some breath, send it some awareness, some compassion. Walk the hands back through center, lift the gaze, come to hands and knees. Good. Exhale, take the feet a little bit apart, thighs rolling in, and billow the back, drawing into the front body. So contracting the lower ribs and the front hip bones towards each other. Inhale, drop into the shoulders, tip the pelvis forward, and now pull up on those arms to expand the heart. Gaze off the tip of the nose. This will protect the neck. Exhale. Push through the hands and the shins. Inhale, pull up on the arms and even the thighs. Good, exhale. You might take a full breath to move into cow pose. And a full breath to move into cat stretch. Cat stretch is the rounded back. Cow pose is the saddle back. One more time. And come back to neutral spine with an exhalation of the breath. We're going to flex the toes. I always like to come into the feet a little bit, so feel free to work with the chair. Sitting on the chair, walking the feet back underneath the chair so you don't have pressure, right, on the joints. But you still get a little stretch in the sole side of the foot. Really nice for the plantar fascia. If anyone's ever had plantar fasciitis, it's not a fun experience. Drawing the navel to the spine, retracting the ribs. If possible, you can walk the hands back up towards the hip joint and rise up through the crown of the head. Let the brain drift back. Take a deep breath in. Again, we're just noticing that which arises. If you've stopped breathing, chances are the body does not appreciate what it is you're doing. So take stock, right? Notice the feedback of the body. We want to be able to sustain the pose and sensation and get curious about it, right? Not resist it, not fight it, not enter into conflict with the body. Take another deep breath in. I think there's plenty of that on a day-to-day basis. Exhale. And then inhale, walk the hands forward, circle up the ankles. Good, tap out the feet. You can work, we're gonna take the right leg back behind us, and you can work here with the chair if you'd like to come off the knees. If you feel like you need to come off the knees, you just do this on a chair with straight legs, okay? Extending that right leg out behind. So we're gonna take the right leg to about hip height, right? So you might, I'm bending the elbows a little bit, just kind of look back. You can start by flexing the toes and extending through the heel to get the knee to engage. Then you can press out through the ball of the foot. Try not to let the knee bend. A lot of times there's a bend in the knee when we think it's straight. So that's why I'm having you kind of look at it, then re-extend those arms. So the pelvis is tipping a little forward, but you don't want to sink into the hip. So notice the standing leg. See if you can really press into that left thigh. As you reach out through the right leg, take the gaze or the head up a little bit, gaze off the tip of the nose. So you're looking off the tip of the nose as you reach that back leg, as you lift the heart. We're gonna take one more deep breath in. So a nice sustained action here. Exhale, curl the thigh into the chest. So push into the hands, pull into the belly to get the knee as high up into the chest as possible. Inhale, extend, gaze off the nose. So it's an extension of your cow pose and then cat stretch. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Reach all the way to the end of the breath. Exhale. Try to bring the knee all the way up into the armpit. And then one last time. Keep the leg out behind you. Good. Exhale. Lower the foot to the floor. So we're going to flex the toes, tuck the toes. Lift and draw into the belly, and then reach up and back through the hips for downward facing dog. And after you lift the heels a little bit, shift your weight a little forward. Take the gaze between the hands. Really pull up on the arms here. Lift and draw into the belly. Bend your knees and take your hips back. Good. Let the pelvis tip a little forward just without sinking into the kidneys, right? Keep that lift in the belly, but tip the pelvis a little forward. So you have a nice sense of length in the spine. This is all about lengthening the spine right now. Take another deep breath in. Good. Exhale. Inhale, lift your heels, extend your knees, and shift your weight forward. Try not to move hands and feet. See if you can really shorten through the front body as you come into extended high plank. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend your knees and take the hips back. 2 more times. So this is going to build some heat. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, Utthita Chaturanga Dandasana. Extended high plank, gaze off the nose. Inhale, lift, tent your hips. Exhale, take them back. Last one. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. So you might have your hands on the seat of the chair or the sofa. Good. Inhale and exhale back. Take the knees to the ground. Hips to heels. This is just to come off the wrists a little bit so that we can Switch to the other side. Relax the hands, relax the elbows, relax the head and neck. And just take a couple of breaths. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale to hands and knees, knees together. Stretch the left leg out behind you this time. Good, lift and draw into the belly. Shift your weight forward and lift that left leg up. Good, flex your toes for a moment and extend through the heel to really engage the knee. Good, now drop the head, and you'll notice as you drop the head, it actually is a little easier to get that lift of the rib cage and the abdomen right into the body. Bend your elbows a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on with that back leg. Good, really firm up the back leg, lift it, and then extend those arms and take the head up above the heart, gaze off the nose. Breathe in. Now exhale, curl the left thigh into the chest, all the way up the left inner arm. Inhale, exhale. Tip the pelvis back, tip the pelvis forward. Keep that lift in the belly so you're not compressing the kidneys, the lumbar. Exhale. Inhale 2 more times. Exhale. Squeeze. So not too fast. If it's too ballistic, you're not going to get the muscular action, right? Inhale, extend and hold. And exhale, lower that left foot, ball of the foot to the floor. Extend that right foot, pedal out the legs, downward facing dog. Find some extension, some length in the spine. Uplift in the arms, integrity of the shoulders. And then inhale, you can lift the heels away from the floor. Pull up on your knees, pull up on your thighs, lift your abdomen. Exhale, stretching the skin on the sole side of the foot from the ball to the heel as you lower the heels to the earth. It's going to give you a sense of length in your spine as well, especially around the sacrum, lower spine. Breathe in, breathe out. And we'll walk the feet to the hands. Inhale, lift your heels, shift your weight forward, gaze between the hands. Exhale, bend the knees, engage the belly. And step, saunter, walk the feet to your hands. It might be helpful to have a block under the hands or the seat of the chair. See if you can really pull up on your knees. So the height is really helpful, whatever height you need, to really extend those legs. So you want to make sure you're not pushing back through the hips. Shift your hips forward. So ball of the foot is wide, heel step firmly into the earth to get that lift in the abdomen, tip the pelvis forward. Now extend the spine, breathe in. Gaze off the tip of the nose. This will keep some freedom, some length, some release in the neck. Press lightly into the fingertips or the heel of the hand, whatever part of the hand is touching the chair, the block, and see if you can draw the shoulder blades away from the neck and the gaze off the tip of the nose. As you reach forward through the crown, take another deep breath in, firm up those legs. Exhale, lift and draw into the abdomen, tip the pelvis forward. Inhale, lift and draw into the abdomen. Now retract the rib cage, and this is what's going to draw you into your forward bend. Beautiful. Bend your knees, root to rise. Inhale, arms to the sky, lift the gaze. And exhale, release the arms by your sides. Beautiful. Palms face forward. Inhale, reach high. Good. Exhale. We're just going to do a little half vinyasa. I'm going to bend the knees here. Tip the pelvis forward so the navel slides towards the knees. Fingertips or hands to the block. Let the head go. Breathe in. You can stay right here and try to keep the rib cage glued to the thighs. It's challenging for the hamstrings, right? Or do what we did before. Extend the spine, inhale. Exhale, step into the heels. Don't send the hips back. Send the sacrum up. Good. As you exhale, drawing into the belly, lifting up through the thighs. Breathe in. Exhale, Again, you want to tip the pelvis forward so the navel slides towards the knees. Really pull up on your knees and thighs here. I know it's going to create a huge stretch in the hamstrings, but it also protects them, right? And then exhale, we're going to draw the lower ribs in towards one another and then into the body. And this is the contraction, the conscious contraction of your abdomen brings the chest to the thighs. Good. Inhale, half lift. We're going to keep that left foot forward and lunge the right leg back. Beautiful. So I'm going to keep the block on the inside of that right foot and then gently dial that right hip back as you extend the right leg. Again, you can work with a chair here, so you don't have the hands down, but rather up. Inhale. As you hinge forward, the pelvis has to tip a little forward, but you want to drop the sacrum towards the earth, keeping the extension of the back leg if possible. You can also do this with the knee on the ground, right? Stretch out through the toes, and then take the hips back. This is your half split, right? Or Parshvottanasana, side stretch. Good. Inhale. Open through the hip. This is like your cow pose, and then your cat pose. And one more time. Beautiful. Just really opening up the front hip. Exhale. Very nice. Inhale to come forward. Exhale. If the back knee's on the floor, keep it there. If not, lower the knee to the ground. We're just going to take a little rotation towards that front leg. I'm going to take the right hand, fingers turn back, left hand to left thigh, and start to tip the pelvis a little bit and roll the belly. So I'm turning the fingers back to get a little stretch in that forearm. Make sure the shoulders isn't pushing forward. So draw the shoulder back, and like that you can find that rotation, some length through the right side body, front hip. Notice where you feel it. Navel to spine. Make sure this front knee isn't splaying. One more breath. Just kind of looking over the shoulder. And then release. Downward facing dog. Tuck the back toes. Lift your back knee. Hands to chair or the earth and step back. Breathing in. Again, you might take the heels up. Widen through the ball of the foot. And then imagine you're stretching the skin from the ball of the foot, sole side, to the heel. Pulling up on your kneecaps to the extent possible, right? Even if your knees are bent, you're lifting the thighs into the hip socket. Inviting the head to hang from the neck. And breathe. 2 more breaths. Inhale, gaze forward, shift the weight a little forward. Exhale, take those hips back. Always preparing, right, for a little jump, a little hop, a little float to the top of the mat. Breathing in, extended forward bend again. You can take the seat of the chair, you can take your block. Really extend and pull up on those knees, engage those thighs. This is what's going to help release. Right? Support some release in the hamstrings. It doesn't mean the sensation of stretch isn't there. Exhale. Navel draws into the body. Good. The rib cage retracts and curl into your thighs. Feel free to bend the knees if you need to. Now soften the knees. Root to rise, arms to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hinge from the hips. I'm bending the knees to begin with. A nice early morning start, right? Good. Extend the spine. Exhale, extend the legs, lifting through the belly. Take a breath. Tip the pelvis as far forward as you can comfortably. I'm not pulling up on the sits bones. I'm trying to just tip the pelvis. So again, finding rotation of the pelvis around the head of the femur. Exhale, now curl in. Inhale, lift the heart. Good. Switch legs. So the left leg lunges back, the right foot stays forward. You can keep the back knee straight or lower the knee to the floor. Step into that front heel and dial that front hip back. Find some length through that side body. Inhale forward. Keep the extension in the back leg, so I'm really reaching through the back heel. You're gonna get that nice stretch in the front of the hip. Exhale. I think it's a nice stretch anyway. Good. Inhale, a few more times. Exhale. Step into the front heel. Power the leg, draw into the belly. Good, so use your legs to really drive the movement here. Use the breath to navigate the energy, right? The sensations that show up in the body. Breathing in. Good, lower that back knee to the floor as you come back down to the earth. You can take that left hand this time, dial the fingers out and back. If you can, thumb is stretching in the same direction as your fingers, so you're not putting a lot of the weight. If you put the weight in the heel of the hand, the shoulder tends to go forward. So press into the ball of the hand, you'll get this really nice stretch in the forearm. Those of us who use our wrists a lot, good, and start to build that rotation towards the front leg. Make sure it doesn't splay. So you're gonna bring the leg in, find rotation, look back over the shoulder. You're looking back over the right shoulder, but notice your left shoulder. If it's popping forward, see if you can draw it back, and then just let that left hip soften towards the earth. You're gonna start to feel some sensation there. Front of the hip, you might even feel it all the way up the sort of front of the spine. Breathe in one more time. Navel to spine, let the hip drop forward as the heart rises. Good, come back to center. Beautiful, ground the hands, extend your back leg, and then take it back into downward facing dog. Again, you might pedal out the legs. Breathing in. Good. Exhale, lower the heels towards the earth. Inhale. Exhale. So we're going to set up for just a couple of sequential standing poses. They're really all about gathering power, strength, right? Grounding, anchoring, stabilizing. Includes a little bit of balance. Inhale, take the gaze forward. Exhale, soften the knees and walk, step, or lightly float the feet towards the top of your mat. Breathe in. And again, tipping the pelvis, pull up on your knees and your thighs, and then exhale. See if you can draw the rib cage into the body as you fold. Inhale, root to rise. Nice, exhale, arms by your sides. And we're gonna step to face the long edge of the mat. So let's bring the hands to the hips. Good, toes are turning in to begin with. Good. Shift and roll the weight to the instep of the foot, right? And then stretch into the little toe. So I want to really step into the inner heel, but then reach through the little toe. See if you can pull up. You're going to feel your inner thighs a little bit here. Pressing the tailbone a little forward, the navel, the rib cage a little back. Good. And then from here, we're going to lift the right heel, dial the right toes out, but as I rotate through the hip, I'm going to turn the left side of the pelvis towards that right leg as well, right? I want a little bit more distance between my feet, not so much that you're sliding out, you're gonna pull everything in, right? So again, pressing into the instep, inner heel of the back foot, good, and then step into the front edge of the front heel, front foot, good. Watch the tendency to sink, see if you can press the tailbone forward, and we're just gonna bend the right knee in the direction of the toes. Try not to go beyond the toes, just so you're not pushing into the front of the knee, that you're really dialing this right hip back towards the right thigh. And I'm just letting my body kind of go in the same direction for a moment, and then re-extend. Press into the front edge of the heel, so you're pulling up on your thigh. You wanna make sure you're not locking the knee, right? Because that tends to make everything sink into the joints. Inhale, heart rising. Good, reach through the back leg. You're gonna get that nice stretch through the psoas again. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, stay. Exhale, lift the rib cage and rotate the torso away from the front leg. Try not to let the hips slide out. So you're going to take that right thigh, pull it back, lift through the belly, rotate and extend the arms. Virabhadrasana 2. Take a deep breath in. Beautiful. Exhale. Inhale, flip the right palm, take the right arm to the sky, or just flip the right palm. See if you can pull the rib cage in and lift. Good. Exhale, we're going to take the right hand to the inside of that right foot. So I'm actually going to take both hands so that this left hip is coming with me. Both hands to the floor. Here's where you can work with the block on the inside of the foot. We've done this before. I really like this. So that the arm, the shoulder is quite a bit of a distance in front of that knee. And again, draw the hip back. Now, with the hand still on the block or the floor, I'm going to step into the right heel and extend that right leg. Here's your triangle pose. And bend. And extend, right? The hand can be on the seat of the chair if you want. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. Right knee engages, right thigh engages, integrate the hip, and now rotate the torso. Good, left arm to the sky. Here's your triangle pose. Not a lot of weight in that right hand. If possible, really stepping into that right leg, drawing into the belly, finding rotation. And here's where you feel the beautiful side stretch. Good, take a deep breath in. We're gonna take another breath in, extend and lift. Exhale, bend your right knee. Toe heel your back foot in. Again, I'm going to take the hand down towards the earth. We're going to move that block, good, or the hand a little further back on the seat of the chair so that the block is now sort of in front of and a little bit towards the little toe side of the foot. And we're going to hop the back foot, not quite touching, I've got the ball of the foot on the earth, really stepping into the standing heel. And you can bend your knees if you'd like to. I'm just going to keep this hand on the floor. This is for balance and extend. We're just lifting the leg up to about hip level. Bend. Good. Inhale and exhale. Engage the standing leg and lift. Beautiful. If you want to try that without that left hand, you can. Inhale down. Bend. Step into the heel. Extend. And one more time. I'm looking down. That will help with balance. Really power that right leg. Lift the left leg. Maybe the arm extends to the sky. See if you can really draw into the abdomen. Power the standing leg. Breathe in. Good. Exhale. Now take that left hand to the earth. Good. And we're going to slowly, you want to feel the rotation of the pelvis around that right hip as you rotate the left leg. Remember, we did this. I'm going to take my block now in front of that standing foot, hands to the block. And we did this on hands and knees. And lift that left leg. Good. You want to try to square those hips, square the sternum. If you need to, bend the knee, but lift and draw into the belly so you're not sinking into the hip. Good. Inhale, soften the standing leg. Heart is forward, shoulders back, gaze off the nose. Exhale, root the heel and power the standing leg. You should be feeling it right now. Inhale. Exhale, really internally rotate that back leg to the extent that you can. So it's the hamstring of the back leg lifting to open that left, to open up that left hip. And then the right quadricep, right thigh lifting the front, the knee of the front leg. Last one. Ooh. And lunge the back leg back. Good. Walk the hands to the center of your mat. Spin the right toes in. Prasarita Padottanasana. Weight the inner heel. Good. If you need to, soften the knees and let the torso, let the head hang. Breathe. Notice that right leg. One more breath. Feel free to do this with a chair. It's really nice to do with the seat of the chair. Inhale, extend the spine, gaze off the nose. Exhale, hands to your hips. Power the legs. And inhale, rise with the breath. Exhale. Find your center. Spin the ball of that left foot out this time, and I'm turning the pelvis towards the left toes. Left toes facing the end of the mat. And again, I want to create a little bit of distance between the feet. Bend your left knee. Good. So that the left knee stacks over the ankle. And then step into the left heel. So again, the pelvis is turning a little bit towards the left. Rib cage in. See if you can power that front leg to lift the heart. I'm just going to relax the torso. It's kind of, not facing that left leg all the way, just going with. Exhale, press into the heel, draw that left hip back, just like we did in our extended, our side stretch or half split. Good. Inhale, stay this time, bend the knee. Good. Lift and draw into the belly. Rise up through the ribs and rotate the torso. Good, to the right. Extend the arms. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Spin that left palm. Inhale, left arm can either extend out to the side or up. Pull the rib cage in. Step into the heel and lift. Exhale, now take that left hand to the instep or inside of that left foot. This is where you can take a block. And again, the block is quite forward of the foot. Nice. Draw into the belly, step into the heel. This right hip is rolling forward as I dial the left hip back. Good. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale. Good. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale. Keep stepping into the inner heel of the back foot. Front edge of the heel of the front foot. Good. Lift and draw into the belly. Keep that right hip rolling forward as you rotate the torso to your left. Left arm to the sky. Virabhadrasana. So this is Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. We're going to be moving into our warrior in just a moment. Inhale. Vira meaning courage. Courage is cultivated, right? It's just kind of stepping into those places that are really uncomfortable. Good. And just beginning to learn to tolerate the discomfort. We don't do it all at once, right? It's progressive typically. Inhale. When you do it all at once, I think it's called a midlife crisis or something, or a crisis in general. So breathing in, lift the heart. With the exhalation of the breath, look down, bend your left knee. You can take both hands to the block here. Toe heel, this back foot in until you've got some weight over this left foot. Step into the heel. I'm going to bring the right heel. I'm going to touch the right inner heel to the back of the standing heel. Exhale, lift. Bend. Oh yeah, let's move the block. So it's just in front of this left foot and a little bit towards the toe. So heel to heel. Good. Exhale to extend. Inhale, I'm bending both knees. Exhale, step into that left heel, extend that right leg. And one more time, we're going to stay. Power the left leg. You feel the power, the energy of that left leg. Really, if your leg is straight, pull up on the knee. Step into the heel. You're going to feel the work of the muscles to stabilize the hip. This back leg is turning in a little bit, and you rotate the torso. Maybe the arm comes up to the sky. Good. Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and slowly take that right hand to the floor, to the block, to the seat of the chair. And we're going to dial that left hip back, excuse me, as the right thigh dials in, toes point down. Good, extend the leg. Inhale. Come back a little bit. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. You can bend both legs if you like. Exhale, extend. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Power the leg, lift and draw into the belly. Inhale, 1 more time. Watch the shoulders. Exhale. Woo. Virabhadrasana. Here's your warrior 3. Inhale, lower that back foot. Dial the heel to the earth. Good. And walk the hands to center, dialing the left toes in. Breathe in, exhale, walk the hands back. Exhale, draw into the abdomen, retract the ribs and let the head fall. Maybe take the hands to your back and let the shoulders release. Maybe interlace the fingers. Good, extend the fist to the sky. Nice, and just get a little stretch in the shoulders, lifting through the knees. Let's inhale the heart up, hands to the earth to support the back. Exhale, toe heel the feet in. So again, I'm going to lift the heels on I'm going to use the blanket to elevate the heels a little, and then gently lower the hips towards the earth for Mandalasana. I think it's time to come down to the earth. It's a lot of grounding and strengthening, but super powerful. Good. So again, just kind of tipping, rocking forward. Watch the knees here. Shifting the weight back into your heels, lowering the hips towards the earth. Use your hands to support. Good. And then from here, we're going to roll down to the earth. See if you can again draw into the abdomen. Retract the rib cage. Right? This is what allows you to then unfurl the heart, releasing shoulders and heads to the earth, and just kind of walking the feet in towards the hips. And we're just going to do a little series to kind of strengthen the back of the thighs here. So breathing in, you're going to so make sure the legs are parallel, knees are parallel, and they're right over the heels of your feet. Step into the heels, lift your hips, and squeeze the glutes. Inhale down. Exhale, heels press down, hips lift, and then glutes squeeze. And that usually brings a tiny extra little bit of height to your bridge pose. Inhale down. Exhale up. Squeeze. Inhale down. 2 more times. Exhale. Squeeze. Empty the breath. And last one. Inhale. Beautiful. Inhale all the way down. Good. And just stay for a moment. Relax the hips. Now, dial the heels out so the toes turn in and the knees touch. If the knees have a hard time touching, you can put a block. You can put a block between the knees, right? I'm not going to because my blocks are very heavy. Good. Take a deep, so the knees are going to stay touching. Step into the heels, lift your hips. It gets a little bit more challenging, but we want that internal rotation. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale down, knees are touching. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Strengthening the back of the body. Breathe in. Inhale 2 more times. Exhale. Knees touching if possible. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale down. Now take a block, or you can also just roll up a towel or a blanket. Beautiful. I'm going to place the block underneath the sacrum. Good. Now, see if you can roll one shoulder back and tuck it underneath. Palm of the hand face up. Same thing on the other side. Roll the shoulder back, tuck it underneath. So you're creating a groove for the upper spine, right? By drawing the shoulder blades closer together, resting on the posterior deltoid, the back of the upper arm and shoulder. Beautiful. And then inhale. See if you can float the feet away from the floor together at the same time. So lift your heels. You can come to your toes. Press the sacrum into the block. Inhale. The heart gets a little lighter, the head heavier. Stack the knees over the hips. And then reach the legs to the sky. Breathing in, I'm going to take the arms into Durgasana, goddess pose, elbows about shoulder height. All I'm doing is dialing the forearm back, fingers towards the wall behind me, palms face up. Good. Feet reaching to the sky. Nice. So this is just a really lovely way to get a little bit of vascular flow to the heart, lymphatic drainage from the feet. And if you're inclined to, this is just, we just play around a little bit with yoga. Sometimes the mind starts to get a little stagnant as we stay in the pose. So we keep exploring the posture, noticing that which shows up in our awareness. If you would like to, you can get that stretch in the hip. This is just to kind of release a lot of those, all the strength of the forward bends, the warrior poses, to give the legs and the hips a little bit of a break. Good, and we'll switch sides if you're taking one leg out and down. Thighs roll in towards one another to keep that internal rotation. Try to pull up on the knees, you lower the legs so you're really working with the hamstrings and the glute to take the leg down and open the hip. Hip opening, right, rather than forcing or overstretching the ligaments. We want to try to get the muscles to engage as a way of the opposing muscles, right? So hamstrings, glutes engage to open up the front hip. Breathe in, exhale. Maybe both legs extend. This is another version of bridge. Good. I'm going to take the feet about hip distance apart. Again, try to soften the ribs so you're not, if you pop the ribs, you're going to crank into the kidneys. So soften the ribs, you'll feel a little engagement in the abdomen, but really nice stretch for the abdomen here. Good, and let's walk or step the feet in or lower the feet to the floor. Inhale, root the feet to lift the hips enough to remove your block. Hips can lower down to the earth. You have options here. Just gently windshield wipe the legs before we shift into Shavasana. Something I really enjoy doing is just taking a little twist where the right leg comes over the left. Again, you can just stack the knees, that works as well. And then lower the knees over to your left side. Try to keep the shoulders on the floor so it's really the pelvis is tipping. And in this way you're finding that twist in the abdomen. Drop the ribs. And you get a really nice stretch here for the glutes, IT band, lower back. Keep drawing the rib cage into the body. Breathe in. So my left hand is drawing that top leg up and over. Maybe it's resting on a block. Maybe the knees are stacked. My right hand is drawing the right rib cage and opening, right? Trying to open up the right lung, the right side of the chest. Take a couple of breaths. And switch sides. Inhale the knees up. Exhale, center. Left leg over right. Swing the hips a little bit over to the left, and then you can lower the knees to the right. So again, my right hand this time on the top knee. Left arm can either open, or left hand can encourage the left ribs to open. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths. So just kind of noticing, make sure there's no torque on the knee. Just get a little nice stretch here in the outer glute. Lower back, a little bit of length through the side waist. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Inhale, the knees come up. Exhale, square the hips. And this is where it's kind of nice. If you roll up, I always have a blanket at the center of my mat. It's just a permanent fixture now. And exhale, roll the blanket, tuck it under the top of your thighs, extend your legs towards the corners of your mat. Good, little toes to the earth, palms face up towards the sky. You can also take the 5-pointed star, which I really like as well. Just kind of, it feels like a nice opening of the body as long as the shoulders can accommodate the arms overhead. Just a nice way to kind of get some of the energy flow through the armpit, the lymph nodes in the armpit. Head is heavy, sacrum, back of the pelvis is grounding. The height under the thighs just lets the pelvis tip back, so a little bit more of the spine can meet the grounding energy of earth. Close your eyes. Good. And see if you can just invite yourself to journey with your body into rest, relaxing the breath, and just softening the mind, turning inside yourself. for the sake of time, I'll have you just either place the hands on the heart, left hand first, receiving, right hand on top of left, supporting. Good. May all be well with this world. May we lead by keeping to the right path. May we honor and heal humanity, that all beings everywhere may be free from pain and suffering. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May we know this earth to be sacred, that she may yield her fruit in abundance. May this world be free from exploitation and oppression, that the righteous may be free from hatred and fear. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.